Hi everybody, I'm Nicole. This here is Boone. He's my 2.5-year-old golden retriever, and we are sitting in our home, which is a 4-wheel drive Mercedes Sprinter van. I converted it this year with my uncle, and I look forward to telling you the story about why I bought a van and why I'm doing a YouTube channel. I'm about to go on a hike, so how about you guys just come join me and we talk and walk. So I first heard of the van life movement in 2014 or so, but in 2015 I got a divorce. So I packed up all my things, I moved to Northern California, and I became a wildland firefighter. I was on initial attack hang crew for quite a number of years and really enjoyed it. Learned a lot about me as a person, really became into a different version of myself after that divorce. But it only encouraged my love of wildlife and the outdoors even more. Okay, let's fast forward to 2018. I moved off-grid on 40 acres of land in Forest Ranch, California. I was really excited. I was looking at buying this property. I was gonna stay on it for a little while before I did that. And then one weekend to living there, the campfire happened. And as some of you know, this was a massive, devastating fire that took out 20,000+ structures in the Butte County area and came 4 miles from my property line. Now, me having training in wildland fire, I stayed in place and decided not to evacuate. I then created some round pens on the property and took in some of the neighboring properties, large animals, small animals. I stayed in place for 2 weeks under evacuation and fed hundreds of animals on the hill, checked multiple houses for damage and for looting, and overall just, I survived that event, that's for sure. Now, some of you are thinking, why were you at home? Why weren't you with your crew fighting this fire if you're a wildland firefighter? And that's because something pretty traumatic happened to me just 2 months prior to this event. This is a difficult part of my life to talk about because it changed a lot for me, externally and internally. But I got injured, not on the fire line. I got injured falling and ended up tearing a disc in my neck, having a severe concussion, severe post-concussion syndrome. The list of injuries continues on. The injury caused me to really reevaluate who I was as a person. For a lot of years, I put my self-worth in my ability to do and be, not just for myself, but for others. And for once in my life, I couldn't do. I couldn't move my body the way I had my whole life. I couldn't help myself do what needed to be done. And it was a very humbling experience. I had done very advanced yoga for a very long time. And after my injury, I could barely support a downward dog. I had to learn everything I knew about my body and how to treat it. I had to learn it all. And I had to learn how to ask for help. I had to learn how to be humbled and receive. A very, very dark time in my life because it challenged my ability to do what I felt like I was here for. A very difficult time in my life because I had spent a lot of time and energy becoming this version of myself. And who wasn't Nicole if she wasn't the wildland firefighter? Who wasn't Nicole if she wasn't the yogi? Who wasn't Nicole if she wasn't the person who could be strong? That's how people knew me. Nicole's strong. Well, I'll tell you what, I did not feel strong anymore. And it showed. I went into a major depression. I lost hope and faith. And I didn't want to be one of those people, but I was. And it took a really hard, long time of walking very slowly to get back to the point where I felt like I could stand. Okay, I was a depressed mess, yada yada. Fast forward, it's 2020. Now keep in mind, I continuously been searching for vans. I wanted a very specific type of van. I wanted a van with mid-range miles, which means not like 40,000 miles, but not 400,000 miles. I wanted it used. I wanted it to be four-wheel drive. I wanted it to be high roof. And I wanted it to be 170 wheelbase. That is a diamond in the rough, I'm telling you. Like, that is the van. I looked continuously for years. I could not find this van. So there I am one day online, and there she is. My van. And I freak out. I don't even know what to do. But here's the thing. It's not easy to buy a Sprinter van. The financing options are very limited. The van was in Pennsylvania. All these things were just like, this isn't even possible. But I still called on it because I'm me and I just want to know. I just want to have information. Well, of course, it's the exact van I want. I'm the first person to call. And I just do something crazy and I put down a $500 deposit on the van that holds the van for 2 weeks for me. Of course, she's not my van at this point. She's just a dream, a big dream, because it's hard to find financing for Sprinter vans. It's hard to get to Pennsylvania and drive a van back while you're working. It's hard to, all of these logistics, all of these things. But here's what happened. The universe, God, whoever you wanna, that was meant to be. That moment was meant to be. I was meant to have this van. And I'll tell you why. A friend of mine offered to loan me the money for the van, which is $20,000 plus. I have never loaned $1,000 from anyone. Another friend offered to go fly and pick it up. She's a retired friend of mine and said, I'll go check it out. And I totally trust her mechanical opinion. My other friend said, oh, I can help with getting that person a flight on friends and family discount. Literally. So the last thing I had to figure out was, what the hell am I gonna do with the van when I get it? I didn't have a shop with all the tools. And even though I can definitely install and manufacture a lot of materials and do a lot of this stuff on my own, I still needed help. And that's where my uncle came in. And he offered his shop, his time, his expertise, his everything. And I'm telling you that I could not have done this van without that man. It is just a blessing to have someone like that in my family. And we've all gotten it from my grandfather. My grandfather is the jack of all trades, was the jack of all trades. But yeah, it was just an amazing experience to be able to do that. So I pulled the trigger on it. I said yes. That answers why I bought the van, how I bought the van. But why am I doing a YouTube channel? Why am I putting this out there for the world to see? And the only good answer I have for that is because I'm a fan of telling stories. I am a fan of experiencing adventures in life, moments, capturing moments, and sitting around with friends, family, strangers, and telling these stories. These stories have amounted to my life. And without stories, what do we have? The longest passed down traditions are from stories, our stories. And, you know, I thought I would be settled down with children by now, and I'm not. And the only reason I can think of why that is because I need more stories to tell. And why do I want to tell my stories on YouTube? Well, YouTube has changed lives. YouTube has taught people things they never thought they would learn. YouTube has brought experiences into people's living rooms when they can't leave. YouTube has created a world of creators, and I hope to be just an ounce of some of that And if anything else, it's a digital storytelling book of my adventures and my time. And I tell you guys, I cannot wait for you all to adventure with me, because wow, just wow. Well, I really appreciate you guys all coming on the hike with me today. I so enjoyed sharing my story with all of you, and I look forward to you guys coming back to the next video where I talk a little bit more and show you a little bit more about the entire process of this van getting converted and the adventures that Boone and I are going on. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your space. Thank you for your light. Cheers to you all for making it this far. You watched my first YouTube video and you're joining me on my adventure, and I am super excited. Now, I'd like to thank a lot of different people for a lot of different things, but what I'd like to show you first is the drink choice of the van. Now, what I'd like to do is take a Pacifico. Yes, it's in a can. Important here. You drink a little down. You take your good friend Bloody Mary mix, preferably spicy, and you just add a little dashy dash. There you have it, a bloody beer. And honestly, that is the Energizer money that kept this van going. Totally kidding. I just wanted to say thank you to my uncle. I wanted to say thank you to Marlene, Naomi. I wanted to say thank you to Garrett, Emmy, Brittany. I wanted to say thank you to my dad, my family, my brothers, my dog Boone, who has really endured a lot through this. I wanted to say thank you to all of you who've really made my dream come true. And I hope you continue to follow my journey, and I hope you subscribe. And I know some of you probably don't know what that means, but it is important and it helps me a lot. And I just thank you.